In the peer-reviewed scientific literature, rivers begin with rainfall, water accumulates, gradients form, streams converge, a river is born. River Ethiope does not follow this model. Unlike the sources of other rivers, River Ethiope originates from the foot of a giant silk cotton tree, known scientifically as the Ceiba pentandra, in the community of Umuaja, Okwani local government area of Delta State, Nigeria. The river sprouts from 4 distinct locations, 2 directly beneath the tree, 2 from around its roots. No tributary feeds it here. No aquifer has been mapped. No hydrological model fully accounts for what begins here. By the time it crosses to Sapele through Abraka, it has become cavernous enough to harbor ocean-going vessels. This documentary is the story of that spring, of the tree above it, of the man who first found it, and of the 3 civilizations who understood long before any scientist arrived that what rises from this ground is not ordinary water. The oral history of Umuaja is preserved and transmitted by the community's chief priest. It is testimony-structured custodial knowledge passed down across generations. The founding account centers on the story of one man named Onya, a hunter from Umuaja, a man whose household was marked by one absence. He and his wife had no child. During a hunting expedition, Onya encountered a spring emerging from the base of a young Akpụ tree, the local name for Ceiba pentandra. He cleared the area, he fetched the water, and regarding the tree as an obstacle, he cut it down. He returned days later and found something shocking. The tree was standing again as though nothing had happened. Not a regrowth, not a sprout. He met the tree again as he had found it. This became the turning point of everything that followed.
Efambo Chief Kennedy Isa mbonye Umuaja na maybe izi no na go Olokun na milikene bidoni eshoge adine akuku fún onye Umuaja wakpo Chief Onya de bianenta no meba fún Olokun na eloji ne fún Olokun na odine ekpo nwata odime kwashafua Akpụ na turu ni duna nwata odime befwe chaba Akpụ no enishi so shineshi ka mmaitere Akpụ milikene no na ekpo ni amari mo oge obido ni na ekpo abịara be kudu milikene ọ na ekpo eleni nnare mo na nara anyị ndị gbogbo bịara be kudu ye so onwenye mai na oge milikene puni mmiri na-eye nwa ọ bụla shi enwe ọrụ ịbịaba arịọ na onye ya ọrụ ịchọ na-esu ike o ịbịa ya arịọ a esu ya shi esu ike ya ife iri na na-achị ameni ya kina omeni mụ na akụ mmarọ wee wụsị onye ahụ bịa ife kwe ya wee wụta ya so onwere nwe mmiri na-eyi ndụ dịka ahụ na oye nwa na oye ọsa ife dị mma dị n'ime ya.
Across West Africa, the Akpụ tree carries sacred significance. It is associated with fertility, protection, ancestral presence, and the connection between the physical and the spiritual worlds. Among the Yoruba, the Ceiba pentandra is associated with Obatala, and regarded as one of the most sacred trees in traditional spiritual practice. Across West African traditions, the tree appears in sacred groves, at burial grounds, and at sites of communal prayer. Most communities in Igbo land are named after this tree, Akpụ. And so, Onya knew he was not encountering an isolated anomaly. He was encountering a species already embedded within the spiritual imagination of the African society. From that moment, Onya changed his relationship with the spring entirely. He stopped entracting. He began tending. He protected the tree. He maintained access to the water. And then his wife conceived. After many years of childlessness, Onya's wife conceived. She told other women who were also waiting. They came to the spring. They drank from the water. They too bore children. This is the founding account of Iyi-Oba, and it established a pattern of pilgrimage to this site that continues to the present day. Every day, at least 100 pilgrims visit from all across Delta State and all over Nigeria to the river goddess of Umuaja, home of Olokun.
Anything what you want for life, and I make you come here, make you come do one for you, make you open your way, take your life better. The day where you remember, you will come back also appreciate of Olokun. You hold the Fanta, you open and start the Fanta, the sweet. From today, that's why you want make your life the sweet. You pour and put inside water. You use the can fetch water, they go out. As you reach us, any day where you want bath, if you reach there, you get chalk where you put inside native chalk. As you reach us, any day where you want bath, you shake them. You use the cover, put the cover with water, turn and put inside the bucket of water where you want to take bath. As they pour them for body, they make prayer. They not the waste time. No. Not me go call you. I don't need to explain to you. You will come back here very soon.
You will come back positively, right?
Not be waiting. I go use my to tell you.
No, I want to know the comeback when you talk.
You go come back, come to appreciation here.
Okay.
See car when people they kill. You they see the horn of car when they there. And you might be like the killer.
The river born at Iyi-Oba has a name that predates every colonial document, even written about it. The Ethiope River runs through Okwane towns like Umuaja, Umutu, Adonishaka, Onwabe, Obinomba, and Obiaroko, all of which call it Onoku. The word Onoku translates as the inland river, a river that rises inland, travels far, and empties into the Atlantic Ocean. One word, a complete geography. Then came the colonial renaming. The British explorers navigating the lower reaches on a steamship named Ethiope applied their vessel's name to a river that had already been named, known, and revered for centuries before they came. But to the Okwane people, this river is not the Ethiope, it is Onoku, and its source is called Iyi-Oba to reflect that the Oba of Benin worships there at the base of the Akpụ tree. The spiritual authority of Iyi-Oba, home of Onoku, the river goddess, is not merely local, it is regional. The spring at Umuaja became a place of worship for adherents of the Olokun and the Igbo traditions. To understand the significance of that, one must understand Olokun. Olokun in Benin or Onoku in Okwane. Olokun is revered as a ruler of the waters, a deity associated with wealth, fertility, prosperity, and spiritual power. In Benin theology, the world of the living is believed to be surrounded by limitless waters, through which souls travel before birth and after death. Olokun is believed to control fertility, grant children to barren women, and elevate followers socially. This is the same power attributed to the waters of Olokun River by the chief priest of Umuaja. The same gifts said to have transformed the life of Onya's wife. In the Benin royal tradition, the deity of waters and rivers carries the name Olokun, a name scholars recognize as linguistically connected to the Igbo word Onoku. The Oba of Benin, holder of the oldest continuous royal title in West Africa, recognized the sacred site as Iyi-Oba. The Yoruba too made this journey all the way down to this part of Igbo land. For Yoruba worshippers, the river's movement from its inland forest source to the Atlantic Ocean made it a sacred corridor, a living pathway between the shrine at Umuaja and Olokun's domain beneath the sea. 3 nations, 3 languages, 3 religious traditions, all converging across centuries at one point in Igbo land, located in Delta's forests of Umuaja. The spring at Umuaja is not merely a local shrine, it is a pan-civilization pilgrimage site. Remember that the name Obatala mentioned earlier is also mentioned by Yoruba historians as one of the founding fathers of Ile-Ife. The academic record on River Ethiope continues to grow, and increasingly it corroborates what surrounding communities have long believed. River Ethiope is widely regarded as one of the clearest rivers in Africa. At many points, the riverbed remains visible directly from the bank. A peer-reviewed study published in 2023 confirmed that the river emerges from 4 distinct points, 2 directly beneath the tree and 2 round its roots. The same study documented restricted zones around the groove, areas preserved because of their spiritual significance. Physiochemical analysis also confirmed the remarkable purity of the water at its source. The river is widely considered to be among the deepest inland waterways in Africa. As for the Akpụ tree itself, the Ceiba pentandra, scientific research now recognizes it as a spiritual keystone species, a species so central to the spiritual life of a people that its removal would trigger cultural collapse, just as the loss of a keystone species can trigger ecological collapse. At Umuaja, science and sacred tradition are not describing different realities. They are describing the same reality through different languages. This river that generations regarded as sacred is now under ecological threats. Sand dredging operations are destabilizing the riverbed. Industrial pollution has contaminated waters still used by nearby communities. Timber exploitation has weakened the forest systems that regulate the water's flow and temperature. In response, renowned environmentalists Irikefe Vidafe established the River Ethiope Trust Foundation, RETFON, in 1992.
It had become abundantly clear to us that our existing relationship with nature is totally a failure, and it is time to end that legacy and seize the opportunity before us to redefine our existing relationship within ourselves and with nature to enable us to correct past mistakes, manage present challenges, and meet future challenges that nature is likely to face.
Its advocacy campaigns forced the closure of industrial projects that were polluting the river ecosystem. The United Nations later recognized RETFON's work through an environmental grant initiative, Then, in 2018, Redfern partnered with the Earth Law Center of the United States on something unprecedented. River Ethiope became the first waterway in Africa to secure legal rights recognition. A proposed River Ethiope Rights Act would grant the river the right to flow freely, maintain biodiversity, remain protected from pollution, and be represented legally in court through appointed guardians. The Ukwane people of Delta State have always understood that a river is not infrastructure. International environmental law is only beginning to reach the same conclusion. The evidence assembled around Iyi-Oba Olokun River points towards one conclusion. The spring at Umuaja is not an anomaly to be dismissed. It is one of the most consequential hydrological and cultural sites in the world. It gave birth to one of Africa's deepest rivers. It sustained the founding community of Umuaja. It drew the spiritual attention of Benin Kingdom. It drew Yoruba worshippers who followed the river course from forest source to Atlantic Ocean. It was renamed by a colonial government. It was threatened by industrial pollution. It was overlooked by modern heritage institutions. And yet, it continues to flow. In 2023, peer-reviewed science confirmed the uniqueness of this source of River Ethiope. In 2020, its own people declared it a legal person to be represented in court. Long before modern institutions arrived, the custodians of Umuaja had already reached their own conclusion. The river is alive. And for centuries, they have treated it that way. Thank you for watching this very beautiful documentary. In case you wish to visit River Ethiope, it is located at Umuaja, just before Umutu, about 5 communities before Abraka, where you have the Delta State University. Just ask them about Umuaja. It is just about 20 minutes drive from Obiaroko. Thanks for watching. If this is your first time of coming across any of our videos, kindly hit the subscribe button. I will see you in my subsequent videos. Bye!
Anyone.